you gonna cover why they got? I need you to cover why they got arrested, like with the drugs.
Hello and welcome to the Cognitions Teens Corner pre-show. We have Layla and Mariah with us again.
Hi.
How are you ladies today?
Good.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Okay, so the last couple of weeks, you guys did a question of the day. It's my understanding that today you have a mental health and illness in the news story. Is that correct?
Yes.
What y'all got? Let's hear it.
We got a shooting.
What's the headline?
Oh, it's just teen arrested in Morgan State shooting as Baltimore police search for the second suspect.
Okay, and
Baltimore, Maryland.
how long ago did this occur?
It happened in July. I think they've been on a run since July. And right?
Yes.
Okay. And so you said how many people were involved in that shooting? Two people. Okay. Can you guys tell us what was that about?
Okay, so when I read the article, basically the article was saying it was a 17-year-old boy that's in custody, but the other suspect is on the run. So basically they can't say his name because he's a minor. Mm-hmm. And I think what caused it was like it was a street crew. I forgot their name, but they was running drugs and stuff and guns all over the state, stuff like that.
And this was a minor?
Yes, ma'am.
Jesus.
A 17-year-old and an 18-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And so they couldn't name the 17-year-old because he's a minor.
Mm-hmm.
This was a shooting at Morgan State.
Yes.
During homecoming.
Wow.
What was the motive behind that? Have the police determined a motive? Because it's my understanding that 5 people were wounded.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And so what was the motive? Because they obviously were not students there because one of them 17. He
could have been
basically
a
a high
student.
schooler.
I went to college at 17.
Okay. Well, they weren't students there.
Yeah. Neither are Morgan students nor have connection with the university. But I don't think they put out a motive. I think it was just about drugs and guns.
Okay. Yeah, it's my understanding that there were 12 other indicted co-conspirators for some ongoing drug activity. The Kennedy Street crew.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
And so tell me, what did you guys' thoughts in hearing this story? We have a teenager involved in essentially what would be considered a mass shooting taking place at a HBCU, historically black college or university. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to, because you two are in high school, and so I want you to apply this story to your own experiences as high schoolers. What are your thoughts on teenagers being involved in mass shootings, and for these teenagers because according to the story, they were aiming at a particular individual and shot other people.
Yeah.
but not that individual. And so what they basically did is they chose that opportunity, homecoming at the HBCU, to target someone, shot some people that were, just innocent bystanders. And so you guys as high schoolers, is this something that you worry about?
Yes.
Is, violence taking place at school activities?
Yes,
Okay.
most.
Go ahead, Layla.
Most definitely, because I feel like I was just telling Ms. V about this. I feel like every little, no matter if you have a homecoming, a get together, or like a football or basketball game, I always hear about someone dying. And it's really sad because it's like people got lives ahead of them, like they got a future, and you taking it away from innocent people. And it is sad for the murderers because you throwing your life away over something that wasn't worth it.
Wow, she hit on both of them. I like that, Layla. Did a great job.
Right. What do you guys think should be done to impact this problem? Because, adults are always coming up with ideas on how to impact the problem of teen violence, but you guys are teenagers. What do you think should be done?
I think that they should be punished, of course, if they do like bad things or kill innocent people.
Okay. Now, oftentimes what the punishment looks like, depending upon the age, is like this 17-year-old will quite possibly be charged as an adult and face adult prison. What are you guys' thoughts on a 17-year-old ending up in adult prison? Are you guys, do you have any thoughts on that? Are you for that? Are you against that? Do you prefer that they go to juvenile facilities?
I feel like depending on what they did, some should be like separated, some should just go to juvenile, and then some, like these young men that did that at Morgan State, should be charged as adults, because you are, performing adult, you're not even old enough to have a license for a gun. So, if you want to act like an adult, be charged as an adult.
Exactly. They put themselves in an adult position. So they should have to pay the consequences that an adult would pay. And, I have done therapy in some of the juvenile correctional facilities. Those facilities are not made for these types of crimes. And so it's really not appropriate. And it's a difficult situation because it's like, okay, this person is 17. Their crime is way above and beyond anything else that the other kids in a juvenile facility has done. But then if we put them in the adult prison, they're 17 and they're in there with people in their 30s and 40s and 50s. And so mentally, because the human brain is not even done developing
25.
until the age of 25, right? Our prefrontal cortex. And so you're basically putting a child in an adult situation, but it's a child who is way above and beyond the kids in the juvenile facility. And so I agree with you, Layla, that despite the fact that this is a kid whose brain isn't even done developing, but if you decide that you're going to commit a mass shooting, you need to pay those adult consequences. So, yeah,
Well,
I
in
agree.
the state of Missouri, you're considered adult at 17. And if you do any crime at the age of 17, you're going to the big house. You don't
Tried
have
as
the
an
option
adult.
to go to juvenile.
Right.
But their next door neighbor in Kansas is not like that.
So in Kansas, it's 18.
18.
But if it is a horrific crime in Kansas, they can be tried as an adult.
They can be tried as an adult.
Right. Okay. What other thoughts do you two have on the issue of teenage violence in our society, what other ideas do you guys have as far as how we can impact this problem? Actually, here's my question. Can you guys think of any preventative measures, activities, or programs that young people could participate in that might prevent them from even going down the wrong path?
Is it still like community places where they can just go
The community
and
centers.
hang out? I mean,
Yeah,
so there are places like that still?
YMCA, I know you can hang out there and pay for like a pass, and I know
You
schools
have to
like,
pay.
I know some schools, if you like sign up for it, they take you there as like little outings and yeah, like field trips, but not really. It's like after school programs.
And community centers, after
Yes.
school programs. Okay. And that is one intervention that was created to give young people something to do, to keep them off the streets and to hopefully prevent them from engaging in criminal activities. Can you guys talk about the program that you are currently participating in? Because me and Stacy D, we are just enjoying having y'all's presence.
Yes,
and
we
so
are.
this is a youth program. Tell us about it.
Okay, so this is basically the podcast, right?
No, the
I mean-
whole
The Block
the
37.
whole
Yeah, okay.
program.
Okay, so me and Layla, we are in Block 37, and our job is Career Kitchen. So we just come to, we get on the bus, they take us to where we need to go. On Tuesdays, we come here and we meet with y'all. We talk about like our opinions on things that happen. And yeah,
You all are,
like
in addition to doing the radio show, you guys are also doing some. Tell us about the kitchen. What's going on in the kitchen?
oh yeah,
We cook in the kitchen. We can decide to basically, we can cook anything. We can cook like, people think we cook like kiddie meals, but we don't. Like, we actually cook. We season food. We cook burgers, fries. We already made pizza, and
Are we doing any
cook-
greens?
no,
Collard green, mustard greens.
Mixed greens.
Oh, the D wants mixed greens. Can y'all make the D some mixed green? D, do you want, what you want, ham hocks in there?
No,
You want a ham
no.
hock?
Smoked
You want-
turkey legs.
You want smoked turkey legs, okay? Because the D's trying to be healthy, and she don't want the ham hock in there. Okay,
You
y'all know how
only
to
put the
make.
ham hock in the beans.
Yeah.
See, if y'all cook some beans, you can't do turkey and beans. You have to have that pork.
Okay, can y'all make some greens? Y'all know how to make greens. Y'all know how to pick greens.
I had a
Yeah.
I had a thought about the shooting too. I
Tell
forgot to
us.
say. My thought was, because in the article they was talking about guns and drugs and a gang, like they in a gang. My thought was like, what caused them to shoot, to target that one individual? Like, what did they do? Like, did they steal drugs from him? Was they in a gang with them? But
It's no
like
telling.
stuff like that.
Well, the article kind of mentioned the gang activity, the Kennedy Street crew as the gang. I don't know. It didn't really say. I don't think they've had enough time to investigate and get deep into the motive. But it'll all come out. You know, it'll all come out in court. Y'all should follow this story and update us on it
Most definitely.
later.
Oh, and did y'all hear what happened at the carnival?
What carnival?
We had a carnival downtown and people got shot and they was fighting. I was there. That was so terrible.
How long ago was
It was last week.
This past
Last
weekend?
like last Friday, Saturday. Y'all ain't hear about it on the
The
news?
13th and the 14th?
I was out of town.
Yes.
The
I don't
carnival.
watch the news. I don't think you were out of town.
I was in Minnesota at Prince's mansion
Oh, he was talking
with
about
Purple Rain playing.
Was it
That's where I
nice?
was. It was nice. Yeah. It was. I'm talk about that in a little bit because it was kind of different.
Oh yeah.
Go
I
ahead,
wanted to
Layla.
let y'all know at the end of the year we have like we gonna cook and we inviting family
What y'all
and friends.
Whatever you want to eat.
Yeah, whatever.
Greens. with
And y'all
smoked turkey
invited.
legs.
Y'all definitely invited.
The D still wants her greens. Well, since we're making requests, the D has requested greens. What kind of desserts are we talking?
Maybe
Tootsie Roll pie.
Cheesecake.
Cheesecake?
or
Okay.
chocolate. Well,
What?
it depends. Maybe we can have like two, something that
Yeah.
we make and something that we buy.
For dessert.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait a minute. I thought you all were cooking everything.
We are.
Yeah, we do, but
Well, why are you
We
trying
gonna
to
make
buy
cheesecake?
the dessert? Yeah. What? Don't think Mariah can't make no cheesecake because she gonna show you something. Would you tell her you can make a cheesecake? I have a suggestion. Have you ever made cheesecake before?
Yes, with my great grandmother and peach cobbler.
Ooh, do a peach cobbler.
Oh,
The
Lord.
best.
But do not put any alcohol in it.
Can you-
Ew.
Right. What? I never heard
Who's
of that.
putting booze in a peach cobbler, D?
Isn't that what you put in and you had me drunk and I fell asleep?
What?
D, first thing, no, that wasn't a peach cobbler. That was a cheesecake. Let me explain. Patti LaBelle has a cheesecake recipe in her cookbook that has, what is that? Cream liqueur. KUAW. It has KUAW in it. And so I had swapped out the KUAW for a strawberry cream liqueur because it was a strawberry cheesecake. And the alcohol, for scientific reasons, we're going to make this clear, the alcohol cooks out of it. And so she was passing out and falling asleep because psychologically she thought that she was having alcohol. There's no alcohol. When you cook a dessert, the actual alcohol cooks out. What's left is the flavor. D, that was the flavor of strawberry. You were not
I was
tipsy.
knocked out for about 5 hours.
You first thing it wasn't 5 hours, but she did
Like
pass
it.
out. She did pass out. It's because she thought she was drunk. Okay, so which one? There's no liquor in peach cobbler though, D.
It might have
But-
been a sugar coma.
Yeah, sugar coma.
Now that
was.
could have been it, because it was sweet. Because it's
The peach cobbler
it's a
be
Patti
real
LaBelle
good.
dessert, so
Like
it's got a lot of
homemade
sugar.
Crust, homemade crust, and use real butter, and you have to simmer those peaches.
Okay, hold on. So, cobbler, is that what it is? Peach cobbler. Because that would be better than a cheesecake. And you said your grandmother, she knows how to, she's going to show you how to make that.
Yeah, like every time, like we cook on Sundays, we cook a big dinner for the family, just me and my grandma.
Oh, I love that.
And she
that's
just
wonderful.
teach me like, cause I ain't know how to make peach cobbler, cause I always wanted, cause you know she make the best peach cobbler. So I'd be like, Grandma, can you make me some? She was like, I'm finna just show you how to make it your own self, so you can start making it by yourself. So
Wonderful.
Yeah,
That's great. Okay, so the D wants greens,
I might make a peach cobbler this weekend.
and you going to make peach cobbler this
I'm
weekend?
thinking about it.
Okay, you should do that. Let me know
And I'll bring
what
you
time
some.
to come
I can
get
bring you
my
some on
cobbler.
Tuesday.
And then y'all gonna make peach cobbler. Okay, so
Peach cobbler, greens, candy yams. Because if you have greens, you will have to have candy
oh
yams.
Lord, she's coming up with y'all's whole menu right now. Do y'all know how to make candy yams? Because she's kind of right. If you got greens, you gotta have some
peach
yams.
cobbler. And the meat I could do is a meatloaf. That's easy.
oh yeah, I
But
agree.
you
Can
have
y'all
to
do candied
season the
yams?
meat. But on the meatloaf, you have to have a hamburger, veal, and pork in it.
They are teenagers.
Do you
Now,
put-
you got to reel this mess back in. They don't know what you're talking about right now.
Do you put ketchup on your meatloaf?
No.
What do you put on there?
No, please don't put the ketchup.
I'm not gonna
on
put
the
no. I was
meatloaf.
just asking.
Okay, we don't want that. We want gravy.
Yeah,
Okay.
I either make a red sauce with barbecue sauce and brown sugar with a little ketchup, Tabasco sauce, Heinz 57 sauce,
I think they
Worcestershire
should make.
sauce in it.
Are you sure they should make a meatloaf instead of baked chicken?
Oh, nobody want no baked
Yeah,
chicken.
I don't eat baked.
Because if they're having meatloaf, then they have to have mashed potatoes and gravy. You can't have
Okay.
meatloaf without mashed potatoes and
And
gravy.
some
But you
macaroni and
already
cheese.
said. But you already said candied yams.
So
Okay, we not trying to.
we doing a
Give the
Sunday,
kids a
we
heart
doing
attack.
Sunday dinner.
She done turned this into a full.
We have mashed
Sunday
potatoes
dinner.
and gravy with the brown gravy, mushroom brown gravy. Oh my goodness,
So
mushroom brown gravy.
Oh yeah,
Miss B, you
And
got this. So you can get the grocery store
Mr.
going.
Payne.
Okay,
so
hold
we have
up.
meatloaf with the brown
Is my
gravy,
mic
mashed
on?
potatoes,
Okay.
sweet potatoes, mixed greens.
okay, D, I need
y'all
you to
cooking Thursday,
one. I need
right?
you
Oh,
to
yeah.
wrap this show up so we
Oh,
can
yeah.
start our show. If y'all make the mashed potatoes, you do realize you have to make those from scratch, right?
Yes.
Y'all can't make the box.
No, we're
mashed
not
no,
doing
no,
that.
we don't
Okay.
do that.
All right, all right.
And
all
we
right, all right.
practice every Thursday cooking
leave
stuff.
a little
so
hug
she wants to
on the
invite y'all to
potatoes.
come hang out with us.
Okay.
Yes,
This
let us
Thursday.
know what time.
Is y'all gonna be here Thursday to eat with
Yeah.
us?
We here every
Cause
Thursday.
we
Okay.
making
At first we was
we
gonna
probably
make
making Cajun chicken pasta.
like Cajun shrimp Alfredo.
Is
yeah.
it Cajun
Oh, I
as in
can't
spicy
come.
hot? Yeah,
Spicy
I
hot.
can't eat hot food.
Not
D, you can.
They said shrimp. Somebody trying
Oh,
to
shrimp.
no or chicken.
No,
probably.
she'll drop dead if you give her shrimp.
But the
Jeez.
Cajun sounds really good. Chipotle Cajun pasta, chicken pasta.
I'll eat everything
Like the
else except
kind-
hot food.
It's not gonna be spicy.
Yeah,
Like the
it's
kind
not
that's at
spicy.
Cheesecake Factory.
Okay.
Oh
Yes.
my goodness, I make that at home with
All right.
asparagus and peas. Ooh, yes.
Okay.
I done
So,
got hungry.
so our young
Before I went
people,
from Cheesecake Factory.
listen. Okay, we got to wrap this up. But the activity
done
you
got
guys are
hungry
doing
now.
is
The
kind of
bus
like an
not here.
internship.
Is the bus here? Oh, okay. We can go
Okay,
home.
the kids can stay.
Yeah.
All right.
We will go into
So
a
you guys
commercial.
are doing the radio show with us.
Yes.
You guys are doing what's the name of the kitchen?
Career Kitchen.
Career
Yeah.
Kitchen. All right. What else are you guys doing in this program?
It's a lot. It's audio engineering, it's art tech, it's sports and fitness, it's YMCA, Casey's Learning Corner, KD Academy,
Culinary arts.
yeah, culinary arts. It's just a lot of amazing
Culinary
programs.
culinary arts is good too because you be cooking in there. Like they'll
Yes.
let you cook.
Yes. This is wonderful. Okay. And this is important because we are talking about preventative measures. A lot of times in our society, politicians, lawmakers come up with consequences for teenagers who have gone down the wrong path and gotten involved in gang activity and selling drugs and shooting up the community. But if there were more preventative measures in place, preventative programs to give kids alternative things to do and surround them with positive role models, that could definitely decrease the amount of young people who end up on the streets getting caught up in crime and things like that.
Exactly,
Yes.
because right here we have a lawyer on the team. We have 2 therapists on the team.
Yes.
Yes.
We have I don't know what we're gonna call Mr. Walker today. 'Cause he be
Mr.
messing
Walker
up
runs this
sometime.
show. That's what he does. He runs this station. Yes. And so I want you guys to think about, and maybe this is something else that you all could research. One of the things that our young people are researching, because October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and I asked for you all to do some research into teen victims and perpetrators of domestic violence. And so you guys are going to cover that in like a week or so, right?
And you know,
Yes.
this is also No Bullying Month too. And the only reason why I know that is because I'm in the school district.
Oh, this is anti-bullying month. Did y'all
Supposed to
know
wear
that?
red every day.
No sir.
They supposed to wear red every day for anti-bullying. All right. So let your peers know they need to be
I
wearing
will.
red, anti-bullying. But something else that you all could maybe research is programs in the community that are
that'd be good.
preventative programs, positive, pro-social programs and activities for our young people to participate in so that they have something else to do besides getting caught up in all the mess.
And I really want to say that having those extracurricular activities most definitely helps.
Yeah.
Within the
helps.
school, yeah.
Yeah, it just really helps you with framing that individual, let you know some other things except for you on the video games, on the phone, social media, and those things. It's just broadens your horizons.
Yes. So the extracurricular activities in the school, programs outside of school, exposure to positive role models, professionals in the community. And it doesn't have to be educated professionals because there are many entrepreneurs
Oh, okay.
in
Hold on. We have
the
someone coming
Black
to the mic.
community. Hold on just a second. Let me finish my sentence.
But it's not about you, it's about the kids.
D, teach the kids professionalism, and we got feedback on that last week.
What was the
You did
feedback?
not do that. What you just did.
Well, tell them to come up here and do it then.
So this is something else. If you guys could provide a little bit more research on that,
Yes.
that would be great. Okay, they are running this, D. They get to call on whoever's at the microphone.
They running it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Y'all gonna let her talk?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm a little nervous, but my name is Tana, and I'm a teenager. So he was talking about like programs and all that other stuff, your academics. I agree. Like I be doing like my work and stuff, and my grades be like good sometimes and whatever. And I like I'm a hard worker, so I like extra stuff. I like a challenge, and I like club activities that want to get me in trouble.
Good.
So honestly, I agree. I like to like do other things to like distract my mind from like what's going on in the world, because the world, in my opinion, is a very cruel place, but you gotta know how to navigate through it. So clubs, activities is pretty cool.
So Tana, you are in agreement with young people having positive pro-social activities to do, things to do to take their mind off of the negativity in the world, but just also positive things to do to occupy their time.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Very
Tana's in
outstanding.
agreement.
We have to get
Very
more things in the
outstanding.
community.
Yes.
Right.
She very outstanding.
You know, we need to go up to Topeka and Jackson and Jeff City. We need a lobby for this. We need more money for this.
Well, let's see because they're going to do some research into programs that are already available in the community, because I think that a lot of young people are not aware of what's already available.
That's true. That is true.
And so we have to start by taking a look at what is available, and then we can assess whether or not there is a need for more program development.
It's gonna be a need.
Typically, yeah. But I want us to address like what's there. All right. What other thoughts do you two have on this topic?
About the programs?
Yeah, about the programs, about the news story that you covered.
I feel like it should be like more mentors. Like it's a lot of mentors, but like I know at our school they provide free therapy, and I feel like more schools should deal with that, and it should be like kind of more mentors at school, to where even if it's not no whole program, you just pick kids and go places with them one-on-one or as a whole group. So yeah.
Great.
So people need to give back.
And
Yes.
I'm glad to hear that your school offers free therapy to the students.
Yes.
This is wonderful. All right. Are we good for today?
Yes.
Yes.
We are good. Thank you two for joining us. Thank you for the mental health and illness in the news story. We look forward to what you have to present on teen domestic violence. All right? Because it does happen, unfortunately.
It
and we need to
does.
talk about that.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. All right. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back with Cognitions, Speaking the Unspeakable with JP
See y'all later.
and Stacy D. Bye-bye. The Unspeakable. There we go. With JP
And Stacy D.
I'm JP Craddock. I am here with the lovely Stacy D Love, and we are broadcasting here on KUAW Radio, which stands for Knowledge, Understanding,
And wisdom.
and Wisdom. You can also catch us on Facebook, Periscope, Twitch, TuneIn, and now we will be on FM 100.5.
Whoop whoop.
KOJH. So check us out on 100.5
We on the dial.
on your FM dial. All right, coming up on the show today, we have our question of the day, which is, I've been using marijuana to manage my anxiety. Now I'm addicted to it. I want to go back to rehab, but I'm also a full-time student and I work full-time. What are my other options? That's multiple questions, so hopefully we'll be able to get through all of that. But before we get to that, D, what's your check-in?
I really don't have a check-in. Just working. Had a good time on my birthday. But let
The party.
one know. Yeah. We were supposed to be partying till 5 o'clock in the morning. All them old people was gone by 11:15.
What? You are
Had
making this up.
DJ
What time did the party start?
7.
D.
But you know nobody didn't get there till 8.
Okay. Old people can't party from 8
I
to
know that's
5.
about we done went to work like today.
That's 9 hours of party. I'm the
we
only
used to
person
be
I
able to
know
do
that can
that.
party 9 hours.
I thought we could do it.
You should have started
The
that
host
party
with
at
the most-
10.
The host with the most, he was in the bed.
Who is the host with the most?
My friends whose house the party was at. He was in the bed
Clearly,
by
he's not the
9.
most. If he, what time did he go to bed?
9.
Oh my God, D.
And
What
he
kind of
invited
birthday
people
celebration
there.
was this? If I wouldn't have been out of town, I wouldn't have even got there till 10:30, 11.
Yeah, one of my play sons got there at 12:15.
And nobody was there.
Nobody was there. He said, "Can I get some food?" I'm like, "Come on, baby."
So the food was still, there was still food.
Oh God, you know we had too much food.
Okay. That's what happened.
We had a taco bar and we had every fixing that you could think you wanted, like the jalapenos, the black olives, the onion with the corn in it. The refried beans, the cheese, the shredded cheese, the mozzarella cheese. We
You
had
overfed
Doritos. We
these
had
foods. D.
I think we did.
You
but we had
overfed
so
them.
much food left out.
You can't start a party at 5. Expect
7.
at 7. Expect people to party until 5 in the morning, and you filled them up with food.
And they took food home.
Was there booze at the party?
BYOB.
Did they BY their OB?
They did.
I wonder if that played a role in it too, because you got all the food, and then you have a chemical that's a depressant, which would slow people down. If they're not active, they're
There was
going to
one
go to
that
sleep.
danced the whole time.
You was dancing the whole time. Who was dancing the whole time?
You remember Joanne from school?
No, that was the only person that. The rest of the party, they needed to be dancing.
Yeah, wasn't nobody dancing, but they was chair dancing.
These were
'Cause
really old people.
I had a whole DJ. We had a cameraman there.
Wasn't there a pool?
No, it wasn't a pool. It was a hot tub. Nobody got in the hot tub.
They didn't even bring their swimsuits.
Hot tub was bubbling with
D,
the lights all around.
you invited the wrong people to the party.
I know. I had about 35, 40 people there, though.
Back in the day, I heard about some of your other parties back in the day. The
Everybody
parties
got
that
old.
only women could come to because they was
This is when you know that you're getting a little old.
real old.
Right now.
And you having a flash.
Never that. But
And she's having a hot flash. D,
what?
your birthday party was a wrap by 9,
No.
10.
No, like 11, 15-ish.
I'd cuss all them old people out.
I was tired too, though.
Oh, Lord. Next
I was a
topic.
little tired too. 'Cause,
It started too
because,
early.
I believe in having my parties on my birthday.
But it started too early.
Yeah, maybe I should have started around 9.
Yeah, 10.
So everybody could have went home and took a nap.
Because it was on a Friday. It was on a
It was on a
Friday.
Friday because everybody worked. So my thing was trying to have everybody there so they could eat dinner, you know?
They can eat dinner when they get there at 10. The food wasn't going to spoil. It was
No,
supposed to
it's
last
good.
till 5 in the morning.
Yeah, that's why we had so much. The cake,
I'm sorry I
they tore the
missed it.
cake up.
I'm sorry I missed it. Was our girl there?
Ooh,
Terry.
no.
Tripping.
I know, but you know her party this weekend. You going?
Yes. And we're going to party till 5.
We're going to party.
I'm
no,
going to show you how it's done.
No, it's at an event center, so they're going to kick us out.
Oh, it's at an
at
event
1.
center?
Yeah, they
I'm going
kicking
to
us
party
out
till they
to
put
1.
me out.
Me too.
I'm going to show you how it's done. All right, D, what else is your check-in? How's the job?
The job is going well. I have to do groups. Haven't done groups for 20 years.
I'm excited that you're going to be doing groups. Are you doing, let's discuss groups for our audience. There are multiple types of groups. There are supportive groups, which are like AA, NA. Those are groups that do not have a therapist present. They are self-ran by the members of the group. Then we have, psychoeducational groups, and those are groups that are a combination of psychology, psychotherapy, and education. So they're ran like a class, but you leave the students room to process the information. And so anger management groups, those types of groups are psychoeducational. You typically have materials, pens and papers, and they're doing things, and then you process the underlying factors that are contributing to their anger management problems. Okay, so that's psychoeducational. And then the easiest group to facilitate is psychotherapeutic groups, which are also called process groups. And that's just a therapy group where the kids would come in and you just ask them, babies, how has y'all's week been?
Can't keep them focused on that.
Does anybody have anything on their mind?
Those are not good.
Those are very good because these
for
young people today
mine-
are having real problems.
Well, from the population I'm working, no. I have to do something.
They don't
to
have real
keep them-
problems.
Yes, they do have real problems. But you got to think about a lot of them that I'm dealing with is MRDD. Remember, I have the high needs ones that have IEPs.
Okay, so we're okay. So we're talking about
Yes.
cognitive delays.
Yes.
So yeah, the whole processing. So what are you gonna do? Psychoeducational?
I have no idea.
Okay. What are you gonna focus on?
I have no idea.
Anger, social skill develop. D.
Social skills.
Here we go.
Okay.
We're planning the D's group. So many young people have social deficits these days because of the technology. They would rather sit in a room and text their dumb friend who's across
Or
the
have
room,
some silent parties.
or go to silent parties. For those of you who who caught the show last week. And so young people are losing their social skills. So if you are going to have a group where you focus on social skill development, the basics that we take for granted, young people are missing those things. They no longer feel comfortable engaging in dialogue with each other, how to like have a conversation. And so you could work
and
with them on that.
self-regulating.
Yes, emotional intelligence and mood regulation. Yes, which then gets you into conflict resolution skill development, problem solving, communication skill development in general. When it comes to social skill development, you can really tie a lot in. Is this an open-ended group or closed-ended? Like, is it just 10 sessions and then a whole new set of kids?
No.
So it's ongoing.
It's going to be the same ones, but they're trying to get me caught up on some stuff.
Called helping the babies, because you the school social worker. That's what you're supposed to do.
No, I'm not. I'm the SPED.
The SPED school social worker.
Mm-hmm. So they're trying to give me...
D is still school social work. Help these babies.
No, I have a caseload, but they want me to bring other people into the caseload, but no one really wants to be in there because a lot of kids don't like the other social workers as much as they like me. And I don't know why they like me, because I be on them. You should see when I walk down the hallway, they spread.
So the kids are not wanting to do group because they don't like the social workers?
Yeah.
But you're doing this group by yourself. How many kids are we talking?
I'm not doing no more than 10 at a time.
Because if you have more than 10, you're going to need a co-facilitator.
Mm-hmm.
But even with 10, it might be a good idea to have a co-facilitator in there so that social worker can build a relationship and be an additional resource to the kids. Because if the kids are not liking the other social workers, then that means they're not going to them when they have emotional problems.
And I tell them no when they try to come to me.
Right. And so you need to grab you a co-facilitator and have them come up in there. Are there any male social workers there? Because y'all can strike a balance. There's no men. Okay. Can y'all have diversity? Like Because you up in there, you regular black, and can you get someone who is white or Hispanic?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who speaks Spanish?
White.
There's no Spanish speaking social worker. You need to go out and find. Isn't that school about 40% Hispanic?
It's a melting pot. They have
Okay.
everything up in it, which is so different than it was when we were there.
Yes. Yes. All right. D, I'm excited about this group. Let me know what exactly you decide to do, because an ongoing group, if you do the social piece, you'll never run out of material. And for the regulation, the mood regulation, you can get into some mindfulness exercises. You can get into like teaching them diaphragmatic breathing.
Oh, no. They tell me don't
Dis-
teach them about no breathing.
What? How do you teach anger management and coping skill development without
they tired.
teaching
They
diaphragmatic
tired.
breathing? What?
They say they tired of the same old groups. This is from the students. So that's why I have to.
Oh, they've
be
already
very
learned that.
Creative, yeah. They've been going through. They've been having problems since they was in preschool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Figure out what they don't know and teach it.
No, I think what it is going to be creative with my teaching techniques. That's what it's going to do.
Yes.
That's what it is, and that's going to take a lot of planning that I don't have time for.
Let me tell you, you can get on. There are some really good group materials on Amazon. I got lots of them.
I won't just come to your house and borrow some.
I'm gonna send you some some
And he's gonna
some
do that, too.
suggestions for teen group.
Middle school and high schoolers, but please remember that a lot of them cannot read, which is truly.
I don't
No problem.
I don't have nothing for you.
We're not going to
I don't
that
have
problem
nothing for you.
today.
Okay, I have nothing
Like
for you.
I have one that's in high school that's on the kindergarten level.
Okay, then y'all need to do a literacy program.
That's
Because
not
if the
focus
kids
on.
can't read, they need that.
They
That
can't
comes
even do sight
before
words.
social skill development. The kids need to be able to read.
Um,
Put together a literacy program.
no, you asking me to do way too much.
And I got some ideas.
Okay, I'm listening.
Literacy. Let me tell you what you can do.
What?
Come up with reading materials that are engaging and exciting for kids. It can be anything from using the lyrics to their favorite songs, to any favorite movies that they have, that there are books that are part. But what you have to do is you have to get reading materials that are on the grade level that the readers are on. Okay. And so you may have to, you all are going to have to assess, and it's the school system. They should already have assessed the reading levels. I have a list of books that are on all the different reading levels for kids to be able to read: first grade, second grade, third grade,
They're not trying to
because
read a book.
a lot of kids cannot read beyond a third grade level. There is
Exactly.
something about the jump between third and fourth grade that for some reason a lot of kids don't make that leap. I don't know what it is. It's like the reading becomes a lot more complicated between third and fourth grade. The problem is the average song that you listen to on the radio, for our listeners out there, the average song you listen to on the radio is written on a third grade level.
I believe that.
When you pay, I want you to pay attention to the music on the radio. The language in our music is really simplistic. I'm not saying our talking about black folks. Okay. I'm saying our as humans. Music
same
lyrics
thing
are
over and over again.
oftentimes extremely simplistic.
And just have a nice little hook.
And so you have to identify those artists who write on a higher level. And there are some.
Common. I like Common.
And Mariah.
Right. Okay, so this is one game that just came to my mind. This is going to be work. So, mood regulation. I want to get cards, and I want them to be what do you do to put the plastic over them?
Laminated.
Laminated with fillings. And I'm gonna, cause don't you know the one
Like
game?
a good old fashioned filling sheet. But you're talking about filling cards.
Yeah.
To teach them about their feelings.
Yes, it's feelings. But I want them, okay, remember the game when you used to like, come on, Mr. Walker, Professor. Remember the game when you had all the cards pulled over and you was trying to pull over the same?
Old May?
No, it's not an old maid. Like
The
you have
matching game.
the
It's a matching game.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I want them to act out the
feelings.
feelings.
Yes.
I think that'd be a good game.
Because, excuse me, young people are oftentimes only in touch with anger and happiness. And so
Nothing in
they,
between.
when it comes to emotional intelligence and helping them to regulate their mood, they have to learn about all these other feelings so that they don't filter everything through anger. Anger is a surface emotion that kids oftentimes use to cover up the deeper underlying emotions that they are experiencing. So if you're going to be teaching regulation, yes, they need to develop emotional intelligence. This is a good idea, D. Okay, we've planned your group. Anything
lot of
else? Because I
work.
got a quick check-in before we get to the question of the
Now
day.
go ahead on.
For those of you who watched our pre-show, we had the Teens Corner. We had our teens on here. And so they provided a mental health and illness in the news story. And so, and we gave them our time. So we're not going to do mental health and illness in the news. But I do have a quick check-in. D, I am celebrating, in addition to celebrating the birth of the D, because I'm glad your mama had you.
Thank you.
I'm also
Where my
celebrating.
present?
I'm your present.
My name is not Nadine.
We need to go out to dinner to celebrate your birthday.
I know.
Okay. Joe Biden dismissed my student loans
And
and my
mine, too.
wife's student loans
Oh,
and
wait a minute.
multiple
I
other
didn't know
people's
she
student
got
loans.
hers dismissed too. Okay.
Oh
cool.
yes. Oh yeah. Hers wasn't nearly as high as mine. Here is something I want to talk about, because there is a little bit of controversy about this, and I'm gonna say this. Let me make this clear. I shouldn't have had the student loans in the first place, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because one, as social workers, because we both have degrees in social work,
They should've
our loans
paid
were supposed to be dismissed anyway.
long time ago.
Here's what went wrong. Here in Kansas City, Kansas, there is what was called Wyandotte Mental Health Center, which is the community mental health center. And then in Johnson County, one of the richest counties in the country, there is Johnson County Mental Health. The employees at Johnson County Mental Health got their student loans dismissed because Johnson County Mental Health is literally owned by the county. Those of us who was working in the real
and
trenches,
they were making more money.
making way more money, way more. Those of us who was working in the true trenches in Wyandotte County, Kansas City, Kansas, okay, seeing clients that in Johnson County they running from.
Yes.
Because Wyandotte Mental Health Center is not technically owned by the county. They have a contract to provide services for the county. Our student loans was not dismissed, which means that despite the fact that I worked there and managed a caseload of 83 Medicaid clients, my loans was not dismissed. And then after leaving there, I spent 20 years seeing kids in foster care, and my loans were not dismissed. But Joe Biden, he came through, D.
Look at that Democrat.
Look, you need to, don't you ever, let me tell you something, D. You better not ever say nothing about a Republican again. I almost called the Republicans a name, but you see, I stopped myself from calling the Republicans a name, D, for the rest of your life, because your loans is dismissed too.
All $300,000.
All right. Thanks to the Democrats.
Yeah.
Here's something I want to say. I don't understand social workers who are Republican. And here's the reason why. Because if you are a social worker and you vote Republican, you essentially are trying to vote yourself out of a job, because all the jobs that social workers do are democratic policies. The Republicans want to wipe away all of it. So
I don't believe that, but okay, that's
name
that
a
is your
single
opinion.
social service program or welfare program or any program that is supported by a Republican. Name
pull
one.
yourself up by your bootstraps.
Oh my God, that's a racist D. Oh Lord.
It's
Professor,
not racist.
did you hear her use a racial slur?
No.
That's the equivalent of a racial slur. Where back in the antebellum South, they said black folks need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. We're not going to give them the 40 acres and a mule. Here's the thing. You got to have boots to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You cannot
that before,
enslave
too.
a people for hundreds of years and then say, okay, fine, you free, but we ain't going to give you crap. And we didn't educate you. And we're not going to employ you, but go pull yourself up by your bootstraps. What boots? What straps?
I think we need to get to our question of the day.
We need to get to our question of the day.
We need to get to the question.
I
of the
can't
day.
believe the professor doesn't have any. Professor, you have anything to say about this? Because this is a good debate right here. What did the professor say?
The boots didn't have strings.
The boots didn't have straps. There was no boots. Our people was barefoot out in the field,
Breathe.
picking cotton and
Breathe.
tobacco. Okay,
And
time for the
sugar.
question of the day. I've been using marijuana to manage my anxiety. Now I'm addicted to it. This is happening so frequently now that
Self-medicated.
the legalization has taken place. I want to go back to rehab, but I'm also a full-time student and I work full-time. And this is also a common problem. People who work full-time, they're like, I cannot go and check myself into rehab for 28, 29, 30 days. I got to work. What are my other options? Okay, the first thing I want to do is let's break down why this makes sense, that this happens. I am not saying that this is something that should happen. I'm going to explain the brain functioning that causes it to happen. When it comes to anxiety is an elevated state. Marijuana and alcohol are depressants. So your brain will crave something that is going to bring you down from an elevated state. And marijuana will do that. It's a depressant. It depresses the central nervous system. You know how people get high and they be real chill. They
Can I get some milk and cookies?
and they be having them munchies, right? Which is also a symptom of depression, increased or decreased appetite. When you consume a depressant, a chemical that is a depressant is going to cause symptoms of depression. Now, if you are elevated above where you are supposed to be with anxiety, the marijuana is going to bring you down. The problem is there's other side effects like addiction. And so people are becoming addicted to it. And something to think about. Because oftentimes people are like, well, what are the other options? Because I don't want to take anti-anxiety medications. And ironically, anti-anxiety medications like Valium and Xanax are also addictive. And so patients they're making sense when they say, hold on a minute. I'm struggling with anxiety. You trying to take my weed away from me and my booze, because that's a depressant also. So you want me to take Xanax and Valium, which is also addictive and worse.
With side effects also.
Worse. But there is another option. You don't have to take the Xanax. You don't have to take the Valium. The other option is antidepressants. Antidepressants are just as effective at treating anxiety as Xanax and Valium without being addictive. And the reason why is because of how the brain works. Because anxiety and depression go hand in hand. Oftentimes, I might go so far as to say a majority of the time, if a person is struggling with one, they're struggling with the other. Most of my clients who are presenting with depression, they're also presenting with anxiety. And so what I explain to them, and psychiatrists are not supposed to prescribe Xanax and Valium to people who are drug addicted. I'm getting all up into LSCSW exam stuff. For those, if there are any listeners out there who are a clinical social worker and you are aspiring to take the advanced level clinical exam, pay attention to what I say on this show, because you will pass if you pay attention. All right. And so this is, I explain to clients, you don't have to take Xanax, because you're right. And if you have an addiction and you've been honest with your psychiatrist about your addiction, they're not going to want to prescribe those. But the antidepressants are just as effective. And if you're also having some depression, wonderful. All the better. Now, the other option is therapy. And therapy is for those people who say, I don't want to take anything.
That's what I was dealing with. I had anxiety, and I just used to breathe myself through it. And I was doing
diaphragmatic breathing.
Mm-hmm. And I was taking myself somewhere else.
Somewhere else. Yes, guided imagery, the D. You went somewhere else. And
then it stopped.
Let me explain what the D is saying. The D is not just sitting here acting silly right now. Although it looks like it. Let me explain what the D is doing. This is a cognitive distraction technique. When you are experiencing a lot of anxiety, when you are in a situation that is anxiety inducing, you literally want to go somewhere else long enough to give yourself time to calm down. Because all of that anxiety, the depression, all of these feelings, as I've covered on the show before, that's amygdala. That's the amygdala part of the brain. And so when you do a distraction technique, what you're doing is engaging your prefrontal cortex of the frontal lobe and distracting yourself by going to a peaceful place. The D, just a minute ago, the D was on a beach somewhere. She probably was back in Dubai, just somewhere calm.
Actually,
and
I was in the Louis Vuitton store. It's
that
just one
calmed you?
purse I want. Yeah.
You must not have been able to see the price tags, because that'll increase the
I already know
anxiety.
the price tag, but I want it.
Okay, and that
I got it, and that made me really happy.
And it calmed you down.
And it calmed me down.
And it distracted you. Now, a lot of times people say, well, wait a minute. These distraction techniques, whatever it is that was causing the anxiety is still there when you come back from the distraction. Same way with if I get high, I come down from the high and the problem is still there. If I get drunk, I come up from the drunkenness. Okay.
Still there.
But when you immediately calm yourself, you calm your amygdala. Because this is what happens. The amygdala and the frontal lobe, the prefrontal cortex, are both so powerful. I've covered this on the show before.
Yes, you have.
That when one is fully engaged, it pulls blood away from the other and impairs the functioning of that part of the brain. And so when you are skyrocketing in anxiety, it's pulling blood away from the prefrontal cortex, which is where your logic, reasoning, problem solving, all of that is frontal lobe functioning, prefrontal cortex functioning. And so when the D does a cognitive distraction technique, she's calming her amygdala so that the blood can flow back to the part of the brain so that yes, the problem is still there, but now she has more blood flow in that part of the
Clear
brain
mind.
to do problem solving on the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the goal. That's what it's supposed to do. All right. Somebody need to go take the exam right now because I'm teaching good lessons up in here. Go take the exam. 50% of people do not pass that exam. That's a ridiculous high number of people who have gone through a MSW program, which is 72 credit hours long. That's basically 2 master's degrees. 2 years of practicum, which is unpaid internship, and 2 years of postgraduate clinical supervision. This is the reason why therapists have so much money owed in student loans, because it takes forever to become a therapist. And that's also the reason why those loans are supposed to be dismissed, because they get done, they owe all this money, and they working and seeing people who are on Medicaid or working at community mental health centers that don't pay crap. Because we wasn't making no money.
But they're getting paid $119 and for 50 minutes.
Oh, the mental health center is getting paid, but they wasn't paying us nothing. All right. So back to our question of the day. We have explained why the brain will crave a chemical that is a depressant if you are struggling with anxiety, marijuana, alcohol. We have presented the alternatives, which are psychiatry. You can take like antidepressants, or you can self-manage with therapy. Cognitive therapy teaches coping skills, teaches coping interventions, and then the behavioral therapy teaches you behavioral things that you can do to manage your anxiety. Everything from, physical exercise, yoga, all these are different things that you can engage in to decrease your anxiety. And then the cognitive piece is doing problem solving around the things that are causing all of the anxiety. Now, for those people who have the problem that this person is presenting with, and many people have, is, okay, if I'm a full-time student or work full-time or both, how am I supposed to be? I can't go to rehab because rehab is an option.
Well,
and
they have started new things called sober homes.
Tell us about the sober homes.
Sober homes is basically a community, and they don't have to pay, but it's very structured, which when you're going through that, you need structure, and you're able to go to work, go to school, but you literally have like 20 minutes, which they'll see how far is your work, how far is your school, and you are basically on a schedule. They have groups in the home. You do community building. You cook. You eat together. You will have a roommate. You have chores.
Are they dropping on them when they come back home?
Yes, they are.
Good. Because the difference between inpatient rehab is that it really is a structured environment where people cannot have access to drugs. When you do programs that are in the community, whether it is the sober home like Stacy is talking about, an IOP, intensive outpatient program, which is 3 hours a group every day, the problem is you're in the community. And so all the places where you've bought drugs, you driving by them places. Mm-hmm. And weed so strong, you smell it while you driving by.
It really is.
Weed is so... This is on a side note. At the Fantasia concert, it was so much weed being smoked at this concert that when Fantasia came out on stage, she said, "I can tell y'all having a good time. I smelled the weed backstage." That's how thick it was.
I'm so mad I was unable to come to that concert.
It was unbelievable.
But they said the concert was good.
She's like a young Patty. But it was, if you do not, marijuana is pungent. And the smell of it is pungent. And so I'm not a fan of the smell of marijuana. It's so pungent. It was a bit of a distraction. It was a thick cloud. It was a thick cloud. And so here's something to look at. All of these options: sober homes, as the D is saying, intensive outpatient programs where you go to group 3 hours a day. It's intense. That's a lot of group therapy. But you're allowed to go to work every day, and you're allowed to, go to school. So these are options. Even if you cannot do that, most therapists, if you are needing intensive treatment, I shouldn't say most therapists can do this because that's probably not true, but you can try to find a therapist who will see you every day. Because the insurance companies no longer limit the amount of therapy that people can have. They limit how many sessions you can have in a day. You can't have two of the same type of session. You can have individual and family in a day, but you can't have two individual sessions. You can't have two family sessions. But back in the days of managed care where they said you can only have one hour of therapy a week, those days are over.
Okay.
And so there are therapists who have clients that they're like, we need to do intensive relapse prevention planning. I'm going to see you every day, Monday through Friday, or maybe even Saturday. And the insurance company will pay for it. And so for those of you out there who are thinking, okay, I'm addicted to booze, to marijuana, to whatever you addicted to, you can have therapy every day. Call your insurance company to verify it, but they don't limit it anymore.
That's really good.
It's really good. Therapy
They
is
are,
therapy
mental
has
health. That's
therapy
really
has come a
good.
long way.
Yes, it has.
It pays more to clinicians than it has ever paid in the past. And it's allowing people to have how much therapy they need to have, because for the insurance companies, they would rather pay your therapist $115 a day
than having
than
you in
pay
an
the
inpatient.
hospital $2,000 a day.
And that's on the low end.
And that's the reason why they're like, why are we limiting people's therapy? And then they end up in the hospital and we end up paying way more. Let them have however much therapy they want. Keep them out of the hospital. Keep them out. Because it's expensive. It's expensive. Okay, D, what other thoughts do you have on this whole addiction thing and like alternatives to going into the hospital? You have any other thoughts on this?
I think you just nailed it, JP, like always.
All right. One other thing I want to say, because sometimes people are like, well, what exactly does relapse prevention planning look like? Relapse prevention planning is a process. It's a cognitive therapy piece, cognitive and behavioral, of identifying your cycle. And this is literally taking a look at your day from the time you get up all the way until every single time you get high, like boom, ooh, high, boom, ooh, high,
Ooh, high.
boom, ooh, high, boom, ooh, high. And so what you would do in therapy is identify the internal high-risk situations, which are thoughts and feelings, and the external high-risk situations, which is people, places, and things, the definition of a noun.
Oh, I think we talked about that before.
We've talked about this. This is like relapse prevention planning. And so for a person who is struggling with a weed addiction, for example, oftentimes they will get up and they'll say, I just immediately started thinking about how much I hate my job, or how much stuff I got to do, or how bad my kids are, or da-da-da-da-da. And I just had to reach over on that nightstand because I was immediately stressed out. And so that's internal high-risk situation. The stress is the internal high-risk situation. Or for this person who is using marijuana to medicate their anxiety, that's the internal high-risk situation. The external high-risk situation are the specific stressors. So if your kids are running around the house, they TP in the house, they done threw something into the TV, broke your big screen, your kids is out of control. D, you got kids out of control, your grandkids,
Hell
they tearing
no.
up your house right now.
No, they ain't doing that.
They're not doing that. And so, but those are the external high-risk situations. And so relapse prevention planning is identifying all of the internal and external high-risk situations and then coming up with interventions to cope with all of those or eliminate them. That is relapse prevention planning, where you actually deal with life's problems as opposed to using drugs or alcohol to escape from them. I think we covered this.
You nailed it.
Are we good for today?
Yes, we are.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And those of you who joined us for the Teens Corner pre-show, we thank you for that. Our teenagers are going to have another wonderful show planned for next week. So thank you all for joining us. And remember, worry about nothing.
And pray about everything.
Pray about everything.